Senator Marco Rubio, have been worried about the influence of China in South America and Central America because they're gaining more power, more money, more influence down there, and USA is decreasing down there. That's a great concern for me. And Professor Michael Schister from Northwestern University spoke to several leaders, and they said that South American leaders feel like U.S. has a deteriorating political system, a dysfunctional system overall that's hurting USA. With the cultural wars, Disney World, Don't Say Gay, what are you going to do to improve that?
Well,
that you eventually might run in 20.
Well, but I don't think the whole Disney flap is really making much of an impact. Although I will say, Disney has done a lot to partner with the Chinese Communist Party and really has made a fortune over there without raising a peep about any of their atrocities. I think China is the number one geopolitical threat that this country faces. I think that we need to have strong alliances with the Japanese, South Koreans. I think India needs to be in our orbit to try to check China's influence around the world, but particularly when you start talking about the Western Hemisphere, it's a big problem. It's not just South America. You see them in the Caribbean flexing their muscle. So we need to get real here and understand that China's a threat. I think you've had the ruling elite in this country for decades have basically done all they can to elevate China, and a lot of them made a fortune off it, but it's made our country weaker. It's eroded our industrial base, and now it's created. They said if you did most favored nation and status, and you did all these things for them, WTO, that they would become a democracy, and it's been the opposite. I mean, Xi is tougher than anyone they've had probably since Mao was butchering all those people, and so it's a hostile regime, and their influence in our hemisphere is not something that is in the best interest of the United States of America. But I think most of these countries who can look at it honestly, you'd still rather cast your lot with the United States of America. I mean, the Chinese government is not somebody that's going to be a reliable ally. I mean, they're going to do whatever's in their immediate best interest, and that's going to be the end of it. So they should just understand that. But clearly, we don't want these toxic regimes to be flexing muscle in our hemisphere. It's very important that we understand that. Well, look, how do you fix the image? I mean, it's sad, but we have a floundering president. There's no leadership right now. I mean, that's just the reality. I wish that wasn't the case, but you have somebody who clearly is not capable of exercising the type of leadership on the world stage that is going to inspire confidence from our allies and that is going to inspire fear from our adversaries. I think you look at Putin, what he did going into Ukraine. I think it's backfired on him. I think that they're going to have a lot of problems as a result of this, but he would not have done that if he didn't think that Biden was a pushover. You look at President Xi in China and what they're going to end up doing. They're going to do something aggressive and provocative, and it all goes back to they do not have any fear of the American president. And so, yes, it's hurt our country's image abroad. There's no question about that. We seem like we're not as vital, or we don't have the vitality that people look at, and I think that leadership starts at the top. But I think that with the inflation and with a lot of the bad fiscal policies that you've seen, it's a huge burden now on every single American. When you look, I mean, I'm seeing, in Florida, I haven't seen it below $4 for unleaded for how long? It's actually even worse in some, because we don't have as high taxes, but some of these other places are over $5 around the country. And so this is a huge, huge thing. We could be alleviating that by expanding our own production here in the United States, but he refuses to do that. You look at the Afghanistan debacle and all the things that have flowed from that. So it's been a rough stretch over these last 15 months. I think people look and say that America has lost its mojo, and that's unfortunate. But I do think that if you look at the country writ large, you understand that, yes, we're suffering through some bad policies now, but the American people always have a way of correcting this. And I think the first opportunity for a correction will be this November. And I'm looking forward to those elections, because I think that it's going to be a huge, huge shot across the bow to the Washington establishment, which has really, I think, failed the country time and again. Okay, thanks, everybody. We'll see ya. You ready? On my hand. You want to go see over this way? Can we go over here? Sure. Okay. Thanks, Tony.